Hi, I'm Michael Lachance. I'm a writer in Nebraska. I'm here at the David City Library in the middle of a snowstorm. It's going to be bitterly cold tonight with -8 or something. But I want to take this opportunity to talk to you about my book, The Long Short. I'm going to do a reading today for a few minutes to give you an idea about what the book's about. This story evolved out of a trip to Paris, and on the return I ran into somebody that was grossly unpleasant, and I just kind of came up with a story about what would happen if the plane crashed and this guy who hated this girl got stuck on a deserted island and had to figure out how to survive. So the excerpt I'm going to read you is from chapter 6, I Hate That Man, and Rum's Cure-All. The night passed with Bill's body, mind, and soul in a rage against the stench that took even bigger bites of him. Claire put a cool cloth on his head. Keep fighting. She pushed the picture into the sand to hold it upright, and the moon reflected off Mark's face. You'll stay with me. Help me, she smiled at him. Ah, Bill groaned in agony. Claire jumped. You're as loud as Mark was. The late night passed into the early morning hours, and then the gleam of orange rays burst over the horizon. She looked at Bill, who trembled off and on. He mumbled occasionally, and she looked at her son's picture. You did that when you were hurt. She wiped her eyes. Made me think you were going to be okay. Her fist tightened, and she got up. Bill slowly opened his eyes. That man. She shook her fist and went into a sudden rage. I hate that man. Bill turned his head just slightly and saw her in a fit. He left us. She kicked at the sand with her good leg and nearly fell over. Damn that man. She shook her fist. Ah! A scream of all that pent-up emotion roared through her. Ah! Bill turned his head back and closed his eyes. The sun's orange glow slid up her face and revealed her anger. Ah, she screamed again, and her throat ached. She hesitated, turned and looked at Bill, then looked at the sun. I hired someone to find that man, that horrible man who left us. She wiped her emotions from her nose and mouth. I won't lie, Mark. I wanted him to suffer, to die. She clenched her fist so tightly that she would have to spend hours getting her fingers to work again. Bill opened his eyes once more and looked at the stars that slowly faded away. I'm sorry, but I wanted him to die. She stormed around with a limp every time she set that foot down. Bill turned his head towards her, and his brow went up. I hope he burns in hell, she let out and looked back at Bill. Bill quickly closed his eyes and froze. She uttered the words again through her pursed lips. I hope he burns. She fanned her face, went to her luggage, and got a prescription out. She downed a couple of pills and a drink of water. The sun lit the island up and then forced the clouds to give way. The brilliant blue sky made the white beach and gently rolling waves into a paradise. The gentle breezes eased around Claire, who passed out next to her Gucci luggage. After her emotional rant, and with the help of a sleep aid, Bill cleared his throat quietly and tried to move but couldn't. He edged his hands up and then realized that he was held down by the poncho. His heart jumped and he fought to get free. The poncho headpiece flapped with the wind and covered his face. He yelled, ah! Then he kicked and thrashed about until he got the sides pulled out from under him. I ain't burning in hell, you rotten filth. The poncho gave out and he jerked to his side, sat up, and tore it from him. I am free! Claire was sound asleep. Bill roared. She didn't move. Birds in the jungle cawed and cried out. Want me to die, you hateful, filthy woman? He seethed at the thought that he saved her, helped her, and then she thought he should die. He looked her over and saw that she was still out. All right then. He got his wits about him and hurried to the first aid kit, got a Swiss Army knife, and the last pack of water. He drank all of it. Let her figure it out, cockroach. He went to the trunk. There's gonna be a line, honey. He waved his hand at her and dragged his heel in the sand. You better not cross it. He looked the beach over. Great, she let the raft go. His face boiled. You ain't going to get me, honey. No, you're not. You got a tarp, rope, a couple of snack bars, an orange plastic grab bag, and the radio. Set a trap for Mrs. Cockroach and see if I die. That was it. He turned and marched into the jungle. Claire drew in a deep breath and her nose wrinkled as she moved. The Long Short is the title. Nice comedic read about two people who basically hate each other, trapped on an island trying to figure out how to survive. One of them is going to overcome at the expense of the other. Thank you for joining me in this reading. The other books I'm going to do in the reading are coming up, 2 books a month. 3 Fools for Spies, 21 Windows, Treaty of Versailles, The Power of Love, and my latest new release, please excuse me, it's a re-release, The Witch and the Roman. Thank you and see you next time.